What is up, crafters? My name is Fancy, and today we are going to talk all about basalt farms. Is it basalt? Basalt? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. This is what you're gonna need for the builds. Ignore that chest. You're gonna need 10 soul soil and 10 blue ice. You need both of these to make basalt, so every farm is gonna include these. Along with that, you need 10 hoppers. You're gonna need 2 buckets of lava. I mean, you can just use 1 bucket and grab lava twice, but you're gonna need at least 2 lava sources. You're gonna need at least a chest to collect drops, although 2 will be better. You need at least 1 piston and something to activate it. Up to 5 pistons will be helpful. It's not required, but it will save you around 30 seconds in the build time. After that, we have 26 building blocks, and then we have 1 rail, but again, having 5 rails will save you around 30 seconds of build time. We have a couple pieces of glass. This is not required, but again, will save you a little bit of build time. We have 8 hopper minecarts, and then we have about 10 temporary blocks just to help us navigate the farm. Let's get to it. So first things first, we are going to dig out a spot for a chest. So we need a spot for a chest. And you can set this up however you want. So you could even do 2 long chests if you want. It does not matter. Behind this chest, we're going to dig out 5 more blocks on both sides. So 5 here, 5 here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to fill this entire trench up with hoppers. And we're going to hold shift click so that we can place the hoppers feeding into the chest and then feeding into the hopper before it, so it will eventually reach the chest. So we have 5 hoppers here, 5 hoppers here. Now what you need to do is place down 5 soul soil next to the hoppers, and then on top of the other row of hoppers, so you can start on either side, but then you have to skip a row of hoppers and go to this row. We're going to place down some temporary blocks. I'm also going to place a temporary glass block on top of the chest so we can still open it just in case we lose something. And then I'm going to place a temporary block at the back. What we're going to do here is we're going to place down a rail, and then we're going to place down a hopper minecart, and then we're going to go and break the rail. It has a very small hitbox. If you want a little bit of help, you can hold F3 and press B to show more hitboxes. But it has a very small hitbox. And just like that, we broke it. You can see it fell ever so slightly right there. And then we're just going to repeat this 3 more times, so we have a grand total of 4 on each side. So I'm gonna extend these rails a little bit. That way these minecarts will spread out a little bit. And then we're gonna go ahead and break the rails as needed. So right here, we're gonna break the rail. Make sure there's nothing under there. There's nothing under there. I'm gonna put one right there. If you're having trouble breaking the rails, you can also break this temporary block and come in from the side. But at the end of the day, you should have 4 hopper minecarts that are touching all 5 hoppers. Once you have that, we are going to come over back to the soul sand. And what we want to do, I'm going to place down a row of temporary blocks. This makes it easier to place a piston against it. If you only have 1 piston, you place down your piston, add the lever to the side, right click. The soul sand is then pushed on top of the hopper minecart, as you can see. And then you will dig up this piston and then repeat the process the whole way. Just like so. If you have more than 1 piston, you can simply line it up and use the levers very quickly in succession, but it does not matter. The other thing that we need to do, after we move the soul sand out of the way, we're going to place a building block to replace where it was, just to make sure that everything is in place. So let's continue this row. Lever, piston, dig it up. Oop, that was 2. Place the building block where it was. Lever, piston, there we go, building block, lever, piston, dig it up, building block. Now we can get rid of these temporary blocks. I'm going to undo F3 and B, and now we're going to do the same thing on this side. So what we need to do is, once again, we're going to place down our 5 soul soil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to dig up all the blocks right here. But I am once again going to put a temporary block over this chest, and I'm going to remove this one. Same thing, we can remove this one, but I'm going to put a temporary block over here. And all we're going to do, we're going to remove these blocks. So once again, we have an open channel for all of these minecarts to go to. So I'm going to put down some rails, add a hopper minecart. Again, if needed, you can break a block. Just make sure you don't lose it because you need the soul sand. This is going to be a very tight angle. And then once again, we are going to lay out our temporary blocks to put our pistons against. Piston, 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 piston. And once again, lever, push, replace. Break, replace. And again, we can now dig up this right here. If you forget a rail, that's gonna happen. You're just not gonna be able to do this. So that's, oops. We're then gonna take another temporary block, place it on top of the soul soil, and this allows us to place a blue ice on top. So now above every single piece of soul soil, we should have a piece of blue ice with a 1 block gap in between. We're now gonna come to either corner, put a temporary block down, place a building block on top of that, and then we are just going to cover up the farm. Just like so. We don't need this corner piece. Put the temporary there. Same thing on the other side. We're gonna place a block, build a second layer, temporary block, just because I went very tight with the building blocks. Trying to reduce the farm size. This should give you a pretty decent idea of what the farm looks like, and then all you need to do from here, climb up next to the farm, find the middle block, and place down a lava source. The lava should flow 2 blocks in each direction. It'll flow more, but that's all you need is 2 blocks. And then same thing on this side. Find the middle block, and then place down a lava source. As you can see, as the lava flows, it will then create basalt. So as long as you have an iron, diamond, or netherite pickaxe with efficiency 5, combined with haste, you will instantly mine the basalt. So as you can see, and then once it's mined, the basalt will regenerate, and you can continue to mine it. I'm just going to do this small little circle pattern with my mouse for a minute, and just see what we get. So as you can see, we can actually collect basalt faster than the hoppers can feed it. So this farm in the overworld should get you around 400 basalt every minute. That's about 24,000 basalt per hour, meaning the hoppers can't even handle it that fast. In the nether, however, if you don't know, lava actually flows differently in the nether. So if you build this on the nether roof, this farm's output is basically doubled. The farm goes from about 400 per minute to almost 800 per minute. And that is it for the build tutorial. However, there is a way that you can make this farm significantly easier for the player. In fact, it's so easy you can actually AFK this farm with just a bit of redstone. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. In order to set up the AFK portion of this farm, you're going to need 5 redstone dust, 2 redstone torches, 2 levers, a stone button, 2 pistons, and 8 redstone repeaters. To get started, remove the glass block if you haven't already. Stand on one side of the farm and place the piston on the other so the piston is facing towards the chest. Do that twice. Do not worry, it's not going to hit these minecarts unless you messed up and didn't listen to me. Now skip a row right here. We're going to skip a row and move back 1 row. And then we are going to dig out where the chest is and then dig out 2 more blocks in both directions. So now we have a row of 6. Now we are going to make a second row of 6 blocks. And we are going to now make this 2 blocks deep. So this is a 6 by 2 by 2 hole 1 block away from the farm. Go even up with your piston, and we are going to dig out 2 blocks and place a redstone torch on the wall under that piston so that the piston extends. We're also just going to dig out this block because we don't like that block anymore. Same thing on this side under this piston. We're going to dig in 2 blocks and then place a redstone torch on the wall, and once again the piston will extend, so now they are holding hands. Once again, we're going to dig out the block in the corner, and we are going to place a redstone repeater facing into the block that the redstone torch is on. Notice I redid this just to make it more clear for everyone. Over here on the left side, we're going to place a row of 2 redstone dust, and on the right side, we're going to place 3 redstone dust just like this. I'm going to fill in the gap right here, And then starting from the left side where the row is just like this, we're gonna take our repeaters, place one down, right click it 3 times so it's all the way on the other side. Just like so. Still facing this side. Put a second one down, we're gonna right click this one twice. And now place down a third repeater and we're not gonna touch it. So it should look just like this. And they're all facing the same direction. Now we're gonna come to this side of the farm and do the same thing. Place down a repeater, right click it 3 times, place down a repeater, right click it twice, and then place down a repeater and don't click it at all. Finally, add a button to this corner right here to get everything started. Right click the button, and you can see the pistons are now pushing back and forth, so we can cover this up. And if you want to, we can add a lever on each side. Oops. This will allow you to turn the farm on and off so it's not constantly making noise or just generating lag. Finally, the most important part, I'm going to go back into survival mode just so you guys can see that we are breaking everything. As you can see, we're breaking all of the basalt. But now what's important here is we are going to hold down the F3 button and press T. F3 plus T reloads the texture packs, and as long as you are holding left click during this time, your mouse click button should now be held automatically, meaning you can just walk away from your computer and you are going to continue to mine basalt as much as you want. You can hit escape to exit out and then turn these off. And then that's the farm. If you want optimal rates, I highly recommend you build this on the nether roof. If you build this on the nether roof, just make sure to build this a few blocks up in the air so that you have space beneath you for the redstone. Oh, because I know I'm gonna get people asking why I didn't do this to place the minecarts. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. The answer is very simple. You can't place a block here. The minecarts do not go in far enough, and when you push them, they are no longer even. And in fact, if you get a block here, you shouldn't be able to get a block. This minecart is now pushed out, as you can see, so you can't place a block here. So using the pistons like I did prevents this, where it's basically just untidy, where it gets disorganized, and that's the benefit of that build. So, love you guys. Bye.